Fears about Ebola continue to grow. On Staten Island, we have a very large West African community, specifically a very large Liberian community, second only to Liberia itself in terms of the number of people who actually live, who are of Liberian descent. Has the state done enough to educate people on this disease? If you can be specific in your answer, should this travel to affected countries be banned, and what else can be done to help stop fears and of course, this disease from spreading?
Well, it's a very timely question. In fact, today we're going to be meeting with Staten Island University Hospital, the elected officials, and to come up with a plan on how we're going to deal with it should it hit Staten Island. But in addition to that, I would say yes, travel restrictions should be put in place, at least temporarily, until the CDC comes up with a real plan to address this issue. Right now, I don't have confidence in the CDC. I don't have confidence that the city has also addressed this properly, and I think it really is a great concern considering what we're seeing happening in Dallas and flights from there taking place as well. So in my view, we should temporarily stop these flights until the CDC, the federal government, has a real plan in place, and I think that our city needs to do more in terms of getting a plan together with the hospitals. Again, the elected officials in the hospital have taken it upon ourselves to have this meeting today in preparation of what could possibly happen in our community. And also the schools need to have a plan in place, because if this hits Staten Island or Brooklyn or the city of New York, we need to know what we're going to do with our school children who would be very susceptible to this type of infection.
Ms. Melendez.
Yes. Thank you for asking. In terms of Ebola, we have to also be a little more pragmatic and not incite fear in the community. We've had other diseases that have infiltrated over the course of time with AIDS, and what we need to do is educate as much as possible. So make sure that our school system, our hospital systems, our police and firefighters do have the literature. How is Ebola contracted? It's through bodily fluids. How is it not contracted? What are the symptoms? Where do you go in terms of help? What hospitals will be better equipped? This is information that people need. So we have to do our jobs and make sure that people have the accurate information and do not fall susceptible to inaccuracies, because that's only going to incite much more fear. And then people, when they're afraid, they make mistakes. And so yes, in terms of being able to ban flights, yeah, temporarily, we need to ban them until we know 100% what we're dealing with here. And once we know, then we can execute a more delineated plan as to how to protect the people of the state of New York. But education is first and foremost, and making sure that it reaches all the populations.